Hello, 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 and welcome back to another Rival Battles 004 interview. Looking ahead to the exciting lineup that we've got on June the 9th. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster, and here with me I have one half of the main event, Refrag himself. Hello, hello, how are you on this
Ooh,
lovely
hello,
day?
Tethys.
I'm doing good.
Uh, yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, chilling, having a grand old day. Not been up to much, but we are moving, you know. We announced the CESA
We
Direct a
do be
little bit earlier
moving.
today. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good.
this day was pretty wild with the whole GDQ raid
That's
and
true.
alpha and stuff. I'm
Yeah,
so happy for him.
I know. GDQ just finished up today as we're filming this,
Yeah,
and now Alpha is probably on a plane, just still in shock, I would imagine. But
yeah.
yeah, it's been a high time for everybody involved at CESA. But we've been stuck back here in Europe and France and whatnot, watching everybody have their
Mm-hmm.
fun. But hey, the time has come. The time has come for us to
Time
have some
has
fun.
come.
So, let's talk a little bit about what we got coming up. Because we've had you on here before for Supersonic against Yoshi Puff,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a fun time. But
It was.
this one is probably the big one, I guess we could say, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Mm.
Nixer versus me, the rivalry of all time.
It's definitely kind of grown further and further as sort of like the matchups has gone. Obviously, you know, both have always been very close to each other on the boards for a long time, and obviously, what with the SSTs recent years, it's been pretty good to see. But I guess kind of just talk to me a little bit about your general history with Sonic Story, really, because I know we talked to you about Supersonic previously, but Sonic Story itself, everybody's kind of seen the grind and the effort that you've put in. So talk to me a little bit about your history with the category.
Yeah, so Sonic Story is actually the first story that I picked up in SADX and the first speedrun I've ever picked up. And originally I was watching a collective of people that were speedrunning,
Mm-hmm.
and one of these people was doing SADX. You know, I remember I was asking him like, when are you gonna do SADX and stuff? And then there's someone that reached out to me and say, "Hey, look, we have a French SADX Discord." So I was like, "Oh, cool, SADX Discord. That seems nice." And I joined it, and then I realized, oh, it's about speedrunning. Interesting. And I was like, might as well try it. And yeah, that's how it began. It was
That's
pretty funny.
yeah, that's how it kicked off. And then, kind of as time went on, you kind of kept getting better and better and moving further forward. At what point did you kind of like click for you with Sonic Story that you were kind of like, okay, I wanna do big things here? Because I think it goes without a shadow of a doubt, you're definitely one of the top three runners, if not top two, in most people's eyes. So when did it kind of click for you?
um, I don't know if there was ever a point where it just clicked for me. I think I just kind of took it at my own pace, and eventually, just like PB after PB, I got sub 30, and then I got low 30, low 29, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I guess it's just about like the continuity of grinding it, and I was like, I want a better time every time, but
Before you know it, here you are.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess there was also like at one point I wanted a top five. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was like I wanted to beat Sora's time. Then from there I was like, come on, I'm so close to sub 30. I gotta do it.
Yeah, it's funny how speedrunning ends up like that. You have one goal, and then by the time you finished it, you're kind of like, go on. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do. Oh, you might as well. But but yeah. So obviously everybody's seen how far you've come, um, and obviously I know the one guy who's kind of been above everybody for a while now is Nixer. But out of everybody in the community, you've definitely been the one in recent times to give him the biggest run for his money. At least certainly in like a competition kind of style. When it comes to sort of going up against Nixer, what's it been like for you sort of in these tournaments when you've come up against him, and just kind of generally looking up as sort of like a competitor and whatnot?
It's always tough when you speak about Nixer. You're like that
Mm,
guy who consistently gets either 29 or even 28.
mm.
We've seen him improve the world record like very recently. I think it was
Yeah,
this week actually.
came back after a long break.
Yeah, and he just kind of does his thing and just improves the world record. So I guess in this race, what I'm going to try is just do my best and we'll see what happens. And yeah, whatever happens, it's no big deal to me. Of course, like it would be super epic to beat Nixer, and it is possible if I play very well
Hmm.
and stuff. But yeah,
I was
we'll
gonna
see what
ask.
happens.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask you, because obviously, like the previous times you've gone up against Nixer, I know there was one or two exhibitions, but they've come at the end of like long tournaments, and it's kind of like at the peak of it all. There's pressure and so much to play for. Do you think kind of like going up against them in just like a one-off match is going to be a bit easier for you? Do you think it's going to be like a bit nicer for you to just enjoy it?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm gonna try if I have some time because I've been pretty busy recently. But
Hmm.
I'm gonna try during this week to do a bunch of more runs. Maybe get the 28. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do some practice and stuff, and we'll see what happens.
We will
But
see.
I would say I'm not like super inconsistent. It's mostly just the big skips like Twinkle Park skip,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah.
Well, the fact
But
that
yeah,
go on.
hmm? I I do think it might be easier for it to be a one-off race like that
Hmm.
because
And
it's kind of like anything can happen and you don't really have that pressure of the tournament. So yeah.
mm. And the fact that it's a one best of one as well, so it's just that one race where, a freak accident could happen to either runner, I make that sound like to get in like a car accident. Like, no.
Okay,
Anything,
yeah.
well, Twinkle Park's
How
kind of a
about
car
no?
accident, so
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I guess that's true.
it's not beyond impossible, So just being a one-off best of one race, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, So it's nice because it's I've spoken to some people in the past about like best of threes, best of fives, best of ones, what they prefer, and like a lot of people do find like the best of sort of like higher and higher numbers to get a little bit tiring once you get to like game three, game four. It's just kind of like, oh my god, I don't have anything left in me. But yeah, best of one race is definitely going to be an interesting watch for sure. And generally, like we've seen, you've had a fair bit of tournament experience, not just against Nixon, but also just as a whole. You've gotten to two finals in the last 2 and a bit years, so that's always been good
Yeah.
to see. Um, you mentioned there a little bit about how you're looking to put in some practice this week. What's kind of been like the general approach for you when it comes to like tournament play and such?
Honestly, just I don't think I have a specific strategy. I just do runs and try and PB.
Hmm.
It's probably not the best way of approaching it, but that's just how I do it. And yeah, I mean, either way, before each like session of attempts,
Mm-hmm.
I spend like 30 to 45 minutes practicing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that also could be a reason why I'm like, yeah, I can just do runs and try and PB, and that's gonna be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, definitely. That's always one thing that I kind of find myself when it comes to like practicing it. If you just do no resets and stuff, it can get kind of exhausting. So, and also demoralizing if you kind of just keep taking nasty runs. But
Yeah,
if you get yourself in the groove, it's weird, right? It's like an ego boost almost. It's like hell yeah, I got a 28 or 29 after like 60 resets, but I still got a 29.
yeah. I mean,
So,
I do think it depends on people at the
mm,
end, but I prefer doing it like that personally, and some people
yeah,
might prefer just doing no resets. Yeah, it's up
yeah,
to people
it all
to see what
depends.
they prefer. Yeah.
All varies, all varies. But speaking of variables, let's talk about what you've
Ooh.
got that Nixa does not. What are going to be the advantages for you going into this race? What do you think you can pull off that are going to give you an edge?
Hmm. I was not ready for this question. I would say, I mean, it's not been the greatest, but I think I'm better at Windy Valley than Nixer.
We
When
have
I
seen some
when I
good
get
Windy
a
Valleys from you, that's true.
yeah, when I get a good Windy Valley, I can get a pretty fucking good one.
Mm.
But no, I don't really know. I mean,
Yeah,
Nixer is just good at everything, so it's complicated. But
yeah, no. It's
I guess
very...
Windy
Go on.
Valley. Maybe ice ski skips. Sometimes I get like, pretty good ice ski skips. Sometimes.
Well, there you go. But yeah, it's definitely sort of one of those things where you're looking at somebody like that, and it's kind of like, what am I better at him than him?
Yeah.
I can understand that, that's for sure. But yeah, no, definitely gonna be keeping an eye on you in Windy Valley. But if I was to narrow it down, just taking like the opponent out of the equation here, if I was to say to you to pick one split which you think people should be watching you doing, what's one split? I'm gonna get you to sort of curse yourself preemptively. Name the one split that you are like, yeah, this is my split. Don't even worry about it. I'm chilling. People should watch this.
I think I think I've had a pretty bad record for Red Mountain, but recently, while I haven't got many runs there, I do feel like I'm getting more consistent at the level. So I'm gonna go with Red Mountain.
Okay, okay.
But again, that might just end up jinxing me or something in the end.
Yeah, I've been asking this question
Don't
lately.
know.
It's in this 004 interview series, and I'm asking it because I kind of want to just kind of see. I'm like, oh, okay, let's
Yeah.
let's have a look. Let's see how this works out because it could go wonderfully. It could be like, holy shit, talk the talk, walk the walk, but it could also go absolutely terribly. So we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, so you mentioned a bit earlier there about sort of like, you look across at Nixer and somebody who can get like 28, 29s consistently. But if I was to say to you, what time do you think you need? What time can you walk away feeling happy with? And one, what time do you think would win you the race?
I would like getting a 29 at least.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now to win the race, um, maybe like a 29:30, 29:20, something like that. I
Hmm.
think that could win me the race, depending on what Nixer fails and doesn't fail.
Yeah. And if
I
it doesn't,
think
then
that's
like that's one of those times where it's like you can't really have many complaints.
yeah. I mean, I could I could also just PB in this race. There's always this possibility that we ever think about, like, what if I PB in the race? But
Save
yeah, I
it,
don't
save the
know.
PBs, and then bust them all out here. That's the way to
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, for sure. Well, it's going to be a hell of a spectacle for sure. I think this is one everybody's looking forward to, especially because there's also some stuff on the line. Like you're the holder of the esteemed Tails Big Supersonic Stories
Oh, that's
title.
true.
but
I mean,
but yeah, the Sonic Story title that's up for grabs here. Between yourself and Nixer, and that's a nice one, right? That's one of the big ones that
yeah,
we've got up for
definitely.
grabs. If you could walk away with that, would that be kind of like just a nice bonus, or is it sort of something that like you're not really thinking too much about? What do we think?
Oh no, I mean that would definitely feel good, but
Hmm.
at the same time, it's like, do I deserve it? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
this
know.
is this is where you see that. This is where you prove it.
I I guess it is. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it would definitely feel cool.
We'll find out.
That would be actually. I wonder if I win against Nixer there. Would I fight against Nixer next time, or
Uh,
would it be someone else?
so the way that we kind of work it, it's obviously like kind of a rolling thing, is that like you basically just need to defend it against somebody within the next year. So like it could be like Katie, it could be Huga or Alpha or something like that. But if they're like, I want to race you, and you accept it, then it's like, okay, cool, let's do it. You technically probably you could like defend it against me, and like, you know, it's like, okay, cool, but it's like, you know, is that
But
really?
then, could I have to race Nixer again?
You could, but
Or
you could.
that's interesting.
The thing is that you would have the belt, so you would be the one to be like, I accept the challenge, I decline the challenge, you
I
know.
see.
So it's up to you. Like if you're like, no, 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 I beat you already. I want to go and race Katie, you know.
Hey, I'm
Like,
just better.
yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, no, that would definitely be interesting to see. Uh, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. But we've also just touched a little bit there. Obviously, the Tails Big Supersonic title belt is a bit of a funny one, and
It is.
I've definitely not put out a $30 bounty to try and encourage more people to play it. But generally across the board, with any other categories out there, maybe another Supersonic match against somebody. Maybe dipping into Dreamcast. I know there's a few runners who've been catching up to you on that scene. But is there any other categories or matchups that you'd kind of like fancy out there beyond this match?
Wait, are we talking about matchups that I would
For
like
yourself,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
be in? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
right. Hmm. I I kind of, I don't know. I mean, I've seen a few people doing some gamma recently, and I've been thinking like I haven't done gamma in a long time. Would be kind of cool if I return back to it.
Yeah, be cool to see you in some other stories. Yeah.
And yeah, and it's one of those stories that it's 9 minutes long, but when you look at the times, they're all so close together, you know.
Mm. Yeah, it's a
So
very cool story.
it is, yeah, it is very cool for that.
But who would be your
So
opponent?
who would it be? Yeah, that's the question.
Scoop's been on a bit of a hot streak.
Um, yeah, I mean, Skew, like Skew is just something because he never plays the game, but whenever he does, you know, he just wrecks everything.
Could be good.
But
Yeah, I'm looking at the board actually. Like from 11th place drag up to like 6th place mimic, there's like 6 seconds, which is insane.
yeah, but yeah, Mimic or Spacebar, even I mean, Scuba as well. Like I don't know anyone really, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just seeing Ductanian. I didn't know Ductanian
it is true. Yeah,
was
it is
built like
true.
that in Gamma. God damn.
Ductanian has been grinding Gamma for a while now.
Well. I
And
was
yeah, the
unfamiliar with
grind
his
really
game.
is paying off.
Yeah, Gamma could be cool though. But let's stretch the imagination now. Let's take you out of the equation. Let's ask the question that we like to ask. What's the dream matchup though? If you could get any category, any game, any two players,
Dream matchup,
what would you
yeah.
love to see right now? I know. Was it you
Um,
last time who just didn't have an answer? I think it was.
no, I'm pretty sure I answered something. Can't remember what it was, but I think I answered something.
I can't remember. I might have to go
What
back and watch.
would it be? Could it be yeah, it can be on another game, right? Doesn't have
Yeah,
to be
yeah, yeah, yeah.
ZX. Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. Wait. There's this game that came out not too long ago called Sonic Frontiers. I don't know if
Oh,
you've heard of that game.
I have heard of the game.
But yeah, actually, Alpha versus Oraku, that would be sick. Didn't I say this last time already? I
That's
might have
that
said.
sounds familiar. That does sound familiar.
Yeah.
And also, Frontier is kind of not technically being safe, so it's kind of like,
Oh, that's true. It is not. I mean, if we go on statics, there are still some epic matchups. If we stay on Sonic, like there's Nixer and Katie already.
mm.
I mean, there's like a lot of matchups that could be hard there.
The one that
Um,
I think it was KPL and Vintage mentioned to me. Yes, was it KPL and Vintage? Yeah. The other day, we're talking about Space versus Superior. That could be a good one.
oh yeah, definitely, absolutely, yeah. Uh, it actually also reminds me of the Spacebars and Chris matchup that we've had a bunch of times with Sonic Story.
Oh
That
yeah,
was always so fun to watch.
come on, Chris. He's finished his exams now, so we can get him to fight against people. Let's go.
Yeah, that's true. That would be sick. Looking at Supersonic though, there has been Tokyo who's been grinding a lot and getting very good at the category. And yeah, would be
Him
nice to have a
versus
matchup. Uh,
him versus
would be nice.
who?
Hmm?
Him
Oh,
versus
versus
who?
Wu. That's a good question. This might sound weird,
Hmm.
but I could, yeah, I could see Tokyo versus Spacebars. And why I'm
Oh.
saying that is because Spacebars played me in checkers and lost a bet, and now he has to get a sub 330 in Supersonic.
Okay.
So when that happens, I think a matchup between Tokyo and Kim would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that could be good. That could be good. Just more like the Spacebar Grand Tour continues, you know?
Yes,
Just
yeah.
determined to play every category. Oh man. That could be something. That could definitely be something. I was like looking at it and thinking like, oh, is he gonna say like Tokyo versus Yoshi? That could be interesting, but then like
I mean, yeah, I think it could be interesting. Although Yoshi has just so much more experience. I think Yoshi would just uh, be much more favorite in that one. I don't know.
I know
Maybe I'm
Underground
wrong
is there
though.
as well. Underground's been like new on the scene too, so that could be very
Yeah,
interesting.
that's true. It could also be on different platforms as well. Because I mean, I'm mostly talking about PC because that's what I run. But yeah, there are all the other platforms as you mentioned previously.
Oh, there's some stuff to cook. There is some stuff to cook. We've only got the two Sadix matches on this card, but let's talk a little bit about that. Actually, let's talk about the other matches on this card because there's some humdingers, as they say, somewhere in the world, and I want to hear what you're looking forward to the most.
Yeah, right. I mean, the Auto Sedex matchup is already pretty sick.
Mm,
Ifma versus Mimic on Knuckles.
mm.
That's definitely something cool.
Yeah, those two have been playing pretty
Um,
recently. Been pretty cool.
yeah, and then I see there's two Heroes matches. There's two SA2 matches, and there's a Sonic 06. Right. Yeah, I mean the Sonic 06 Labris versus Reverie. I really like both of these runners, so
Mm.
that would be a sick matchup, I think.
Are you back now? You
Um,
back in your fellow Labris or your fellow Greenhead anime PFP?
ah, yeah. I mean, I love Labris, but man, like, I gotta support the green hair cause. So I think I will probably go with Reverie.
Ooh, okay. Sending this to Labris right now. We'll find
Oh God,
But yeah, no,
what have I created?
there's definitely going to be some entertaining ones here. And it's cool because it all starts on June 7th, actually, because we got a couple of matches taking place. Because scheduling for these is a nightmare.
Yeah, you bet it is.
But it works out because then people get to watch the matches earlier. And it's fun, it's cool. But,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so everything on the card, like you said, Ifma versus Mimic is going to be, it's going to be one of the cool ones, I think. Just because, well, Mimic's always entertaining, but Ifma, both of them just flying back from GDQ.
Yeah.
Could be good. Could be good. Yeah, there we go. And on that note, I guess the last thing to ask would be, do you have a final message for Nixer going into your match on June the 9th?
Hold your banana, Nixer.
Wow, wow. What did he mean by
That's all I'm gonna
this?
say. What do I mean?
What
You'll
did he...
have to find out on June 9th.
What on earth did he mean by this? I guess we will find out on June 9th. But there we go. That'll wrap things up here with this interview. Thank you very much, Refrag, for hopping on in here. Appreciate having you as
Yeah,
always.
thank you for having me. And I guess on that note, see you later.
See you later, Refrag. And also, there's no one else here. It's just Refrag.
Oh.
I was like, and I looked over to like the left of your feels like there's nothing there. Well,
That's
there
a
we
bit
go.
awkward.
There we go. But yeah, no, thank you very much for hopping on, and we will be back here soon with more rival battles, more to look forward to, more to get yourself on the edge of your seat. Don't go anywhere. Goodbye, gamers. Have a good rest of your day. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.